So if you missed Micron, if you missed Nvidia, if you missed Palantir, this could be even bigger for you. This is a company in a sector of AI that most likely you're not even looking at. And I want to make you aware of it. That's my goal, is to help you make more money in AI stocks. My name's Austin. And please hit that like, that subscribe if you haven't already done so. Bell notification turned on, because I make content every single day with two goals: help you make more money and help you be more profitable, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into this. So I've got a really good one to share with you today. So here's what's playing out. There is a memory shortage in the AI sector. So remember, in the AI sector, you have the chips themselves, Nvidia, AMD, Broadcom, what have you. And on those chips go the memory component. And there's really three main manufacturers in memory. There is Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung. Yes, there are other players, but those are the big three. And I think you should be investing in all of those, right? You should own Micron, you should own Nvidia, AMD, Broadcom, but you should also look at the supply chain, because there's companies that are supplying, like the Microns and the SK Hynixes of the world, that are massively benefiting from the AI infrastructure build out. And it is memory that has the shortage, that is the bottleneck right now in the production of AI chips. Remember, the AI memory chip goes on the Nvidia chips, the AMDs, the Broadcoms, okay? And so this memory shortage has supercharged this AI stock we're going to tell you about, because this is a company that manufactures equipment to create and manufacture memory chips. Yes, you see what I'm talking about. We're starting to look at the supply chain, right? Okay. So this company sells chip making equipment, with a large chunk of its revenue coming from the memory segment. And so the company is, let me show you the chart, Lam Research. Ticker is LRCX. Okay. Current market cap, 361 billion. And 5 year up 422%, 1 year up 254%, and 1 month up 10%. And if you look at year to date, started the beginning of this year at 184, currently trading at 296. So as I showed and talked about, market cap is 361, EPS is $5.30, P&E ratio is 54%. And yes, I know it's trading at a pretty decently high multiple, but again, if we're looking at and talking about AI infrastructure build out, this is one that I think that a lot of people have overlooked, and it could be as good or better long term, right? It's how much more room does a Micron or an SK Hynix have to go up? Now, I own both of those. I'm a fan of both of those. I think that they have massive amount of room, but also you need to be looking at and changing your mentality and finding these other players in the ecosystem, like Lam Research, LAM. Lam Research. Okay. So, look, in the purple, there's a massive healthy demand for memory chips, right? But the problem is manufacturers are looking at how they bring more capacity online, because right now they cannot literally make the memory chips as fast as they need to. And so they're looking at any way they can. So they're looking at building more foundries, things of this nature, changing existing manufacturer processes around existing manufacturing foundries, whatever that variation on that is. And this is where Lam Research steps in, because, obviously the good news for Lam is that the AI stock has massive potential, because it is Lam that manufactures and sells wafer and fabrication equipment to foundries, chip makers, and integrated device manufacturers. It gets 39% of its revenue from the memory manufacturing equipment segment alone. Remember, I keep talking about it is memory manufacturing that is the bottleneck, and it is Lam Research, one of the major companies standing behind that, supplying the wafer and fabrication equipment that is needed to fulfill this demand. Okay. And you've got, again, the Microns and the Samsung are looking at everything they can do and throwing just billions of dollars at how they can manufacture more to feed the insatiable demand for those memory chips. Okay. So talking about kind of the financial performance here in the pink, Lam's fiscal 2026 Q3 revenue for the 3 months ended March 29 increased by 24% year over year to 5.84 billion. In the purple, its earnings growth was even more impressive at 41% year over year, driven by higher margin product sales and improved factory efficiency. Okay, so Lam is giving forward-looking guidance. The company's fiscal Q4 revenue guidance of 6.6 billion points toward a potential jump of 27% from the year ago quarter. Okay, Lam has been making massive investments in its own architecture and its own production facilities. So right here, pointed out in early 2025 that it was expecting NAND flash manufacturers to spend 40 billion on converting their factories to produce advanced storage devices for several years. However, Lam now estimates the majority of that spending will occur before the end of 27. At the same time, Lam expects new capacity additions to boost its market. It is adding more and more capacity. Lam is, okay. It is, okay. So here's kind of the final few thoughts here. So Lam's earnings if their earnings do reach $9.53 per share, it's fiscal 2028, and it trades at 43 times earnings at that time, and in line with NASDAQ Composite Index average. Stock can jump to 410. That's a jump of 38+%. This AI stock could deliver even bigger gains because of the massive investments in AI data center infrastructure that it has done, and the massive investments in AI data centers that is still coming. Remember, the AI data center build out is massive, and is expected to reach $3 to $4+ trillion by 2030. And those are huge numbers. Right now, that number is about a $650 to $700 billion number, which in and of itself is huge. But in that stands memory as being a major bottleneck, right? And in that stands the companies Micron's, SK Hynix, Samsung's, and other memory manufacturers. Those are the biggest three. They need the ability to produce even more memory chips. And it is Lam Research standing there as one of the major players that I think you need to look at and possibly look at adding to your portfolio. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents. Let me know what your thought is. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for giving me a few minutes. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you down the road. Go make some money. Take care.